We would spend hours, my dad and I, just listening to records. It was a lot of fun. I remember this old record player we had, and it was, I was so interested in the needle and the inner workings, and I would spend hours looking at the albums. And I grew up in a home where there was like the music you love, like I said before, and then the music you listen to at church, like the organ and stuff. And so I think for me, when I got really, I started to follow Jesus, it might not have been an organ, it was still an acoustic guitar, but I thought I had to fit into this church mold. This 4 chords, always a happy song, all that type of stuff. And so, the freedom came from that thinking, from just recognizing that God's made me with certain gifts and a certain expression, and if I don't actually honestly express, what He's given me, from my experience, from my story, from my perspective, then I'm actually causing other people to miss out on the fullness of what He's sharing in the world today. My experience for music for years has just been a real supportive role. I think I've done a lot of covers, a lot of endeavors that were interesting, but I never really had the confidence, I think, to actually pursue the dream of making the music that I felt was inside of me. There's songs about brokenness, there's songs about just a deep longing we all have in the human condition. If you listen to the songs, it's clear that there's a desire in me for more, and a lot of these songs are really about the answer to that longing, and that I've found that in Christ the answer to that longing is Christ, and in a profound way, not in a simple way. These songs are about journey. These songs are about beginning an adventure and staying on in the adventure. I remember I was living in the streets in Calgary at 18, and I was met with this gospel that changed everything, and then there's been milestone moments over the years, and it gets deeper. Lately it's mostly to do with gifting, so that's partly why this stuff's happening. I think in the original days it was just I love you in spite of, but now it's more like I love you and I've created you for this. Yeah, like one of the songs called From My Heart to Yours, and it comes out of a place where I was, just to be honest, I was suicidal. There's no other way to explain it. I was just straight up, I felt like I wanted to die. And From My Heart to Yours is a song just about, that I found that the only hand up I had was Christ. And I was in this moment, the lyrics are just saying, I don't want to say I love you anymore, God. I don't want to say it anymore. I want my life to be a love song for you. So that song is born right out of a really dark place. And that's what I believe, truly, that's where Jesus lives. Jesus is the light, and He lives in dark places. And that's where I've found Him to be. So why should you care? Because honestly, this music's, if you listen to it, it's very honest. I think, and that's one of the reasons why I was always scared of sharing it. It's because I don't sort of write from a third-person perspective. It's very first-person. It's very personal. It's music that's totally about my relationship with God, my struggles, my perspective, some of the dirt I've had in my life. It's a very honest record. I've learned that God's happy with me and loves me over and over in deeper levels, like it's an onion. Naturally, when you look at bills and you recognize that there's that aspect, but I think honestly I've been always so, and I'm not trying to brag, but I've been pretty good at making money my whole life, that it's sort of, I think it's kind of God's design to squeeze self-sufficiency out of me and really be just totally reliant on Him, coming to the end of me and just saying, God, like, you're totally Jehovah. You completely have to provide. And that's sort of how He works, I find. It's like the moment it doesn't make any sense is the moment He asks you to do something. we've seen some pretty awesome stuff. We've got about 23% of the CD paid through donations, so that's been really exciting to see. And it was actually both bigger donations happened right after a lot of prayer and sort of God, are you sure moments, you know, are you sure, Lord? And yeah, okay. He kind of confirms it with another donation, so that's been really cool to watch.